Happy Valentine's month, everybody. I'm the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to share with you some of my favorite Valentine's Day episodes from TV shows or even movies. Not everything is all lovey-dovey. Sometimes Valentine's Days deal with heartache and everything. So, some episodes will be romantic and lovey-dovey, while others will be very sad and heart-wrenching and stuff. But love is love. It doesn't always come with smiles and giggles and glee. So I'm here today to talk to you about Spider-Man, the animated series, The Wedding. So The Wedding was a really cool episode in the later half of the series. I believe this came out in season 3. And so the big thing is Peter Parker and Mary Jane Watson are about to finally get married after all the craziness they've been through, from dating back early in the first season to breaking up because he had to hide his identity as Spider-Man because it just interfered in their relationship, and to the point where she felt neglected, to the point where she started dating Harry Osborn, to the point to where she still was in love with Peter and left Harry for Peter, only for her to get chased around by her ex-boyfriend, the Hydra Man, to that whole thing on the bridge with the Green Goblin, who is Harry's father, and her falling and disappearing in that black hole, that portal device, to Peter all of a sudden finding her and all this other stuff, and them deciding, let's get married and everything. And to all the MCU fans who are not familiar with the comics and, stuff like that, yes, Peter Parker actually does get married to Mary Jane in the comics. He actually grows up and being an adult. In some other comics and other continuities, he actually have kids. A lot of people really don't know that, and a lot of people assume he's only supposed to be in high school. So when they saw No Way Home, they was confused as to why Spider-Man was so much older. And so in this episode, it's a nice, fun little wedding episode, you know what I'm saying? But there's still some action and tension and stuff. So, the first bit of part of action we get is when Peter and his Aunt May are at the bank, and she wants Uncle Ben's wedding ring so she can give to Peter. But in comes the Scorpion, who wants to steal it so he can marry his girlfriend, Sarah. So, of course, Peter changes into Spider-Man. Aunt May's all like, Peter, why did you leave me? Now, this Aunt May voice is voiced by a completely different woman because the original actress sadly passed away. And so, Spider-Man, he stops, Scorpion, who now has kidnapped Aunt May, and he throws him into a thing of water, which short circuits his little electrical pack in the back with his tails attached to. So after that, at some point in time, Mary Jane feels like she has to let Harry know that, yo, I'm about to get married to your former best friend. So she takes Liz Allen with her, and Liz has a crush on Harry, but they don't know that yet. And so Harry at first thinks, oh, Mary Jane's here to see him. He's so happy. Because see, Harry is locked up in the cuckoo house because he went nuts and became the Green Goblin. And then he starts seeing hallucinations of his father. His father is stuck in a limbo dimension. And so when he finds out that of course Mary Jane don't want him, he's pissed. And so his father convinces him to break out, be a man, and do something for yourself. So he breaks out and he goes and enlists the help of Alistair Smythe, who is now known as the Spider Slayer, who now is a cyborg thanks to the Kingpin. And so they plan on crashing the wedding with a bunch of Robo Goblin Slayer looking things. Speaking of the Kingpin, him and Jamerson are like arguing over the phone because they both want to get Peter the best thing for the wedding. Jamerson, of course, is cheap and not as rich as the Kingpin. Of course, the Kingpin wants to return the favor of helping Peter out because of the events that happened with his son long ago, and he wants to keep Peter on his good graces because the Kingpin's son tried to frame Peter for like espionage or something like that. And so Fisk is all like, oh, well, I'm gonna like pay for everything and import this and import that, which really bugs Jameson because he realizes, he can't beat that, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, while they're there at the wedding, everything's all set. And Felicia Hardy is there because she is a friend of Peter's and stuff. And then, boom, in comes the villain. So Scorpion has aligned himself with Smythe and that of Harry. So seeing all this, Felicia Hardy transforms into the cat, especially but she gets distracted when she sees Fisk is there, and he is operating the original roboticized human-looking Spider Slayer, and she hates him to death. So of course Peter Parker has to change and he has to turn into Spider-Man. Now Mary Jane at this point knows who Peter Parker is because he revealed himself to her. And so it's like a huge, awesome battle between Spider-Man, the Black Cat, against all these robot like goblins, the Green Goblin, Alistair Smythe, and then of course the Scorpion. And so as they're all getting like, their butts kicked and everything, in comes Liz Allen. And she pleads with Harry to give this up. Talking about there is somebody who cares and loves for you because, she loves him. Even though he screwed up in the head and a villain. And so this causes him to have an epiphany that somebody actually really truly cares for him. And he just straight up gives up, which pisses off his father who can see him in limbo. And so he heads back to like the insane asylum and everything. And his father is just furious and stuff. So of course Peter Parker and Mary Jane, they wed. But Jameson's all like, Fisk can provide you all of this, but I got you a really great gift. The car. A beat up old van that used to belong to the Bugle. And so they drive off, just wed and everything. So it's like a really cool episode, like it's not too mushy, it's not too action packed. It had a nice blend here and there. Now, wasn't that romantic? Or depressing, depending on what kind of video I just talked about. Okay, well, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. And bye.